Hello, everyone. My name is Anselm Beach. I'm the assistant director of the EDD program at the School of Education at American University. We're so excited to have you all here this evening for our recruitment event, which is a panel with current students in the EDD program. So in a second, I'm going to turn it over to our students, or our scholar practitioners, as we like to call those who are enrolled in the program here, and they'll introduce themselves, and then we'll hop in. And I've got a list of questions that I'm going to ask them to kind of just give you all an overview of what the program is like, what the student experience is like. And then at the end, we'll leave a little bit of time for your questions to ask of our panel. So I'm gonna go ahead and just call out on them real quick to just give a brief introduction as to who they are, and then we'll hop in. So Jasmine, why don't you go first?
Good evening, everybody. I am Jasmine Rogers. I am in cohort 4, and what else? That's it.
You could say what you're doing, what your work is, and yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm a manager at the DC Reading Clinic with DCPS, and I am in my last one semester of this program, and I am doing my dissertation on teacher beliefs and attitudes towards Black English. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Next, we'll go with Christy.
Hi, good to see everyone. I'm Christy. I am a teacher coach through Stanford University. I work with school districts and teachers, but at my heart, I'm a K-5 teacher educator. I have worked internationally. So for the last 7-8 years, I've been based in Shanghai and Hong Kong. So a lot of my work is about international education. So my dissertation is looking at decolonizing international education practices and partnerships. And I am in cohort 5, which means out of 3 years, I'm in my second year, about halfway through.
Awesome. And up next, thank you very much, Christy. Up next, we will go with Lisa.
Hi, y'all. I am Lisa Daniels. I'm from Bessemer, Alabama. I am currently in Birmingham. I'm in cohort 7, so I just finished my first semester of the EDD program. And I'm currently looking at David Grunwald's theory of place-based education and Lisa Till's U.S. history, U.S. Civil Rights Trail. My job is currently a 9th and 10th grade history teacher at the Alabama Aerospace and Aviation High School. I'm one of the founding teachers.
Thank you. And last but not least, we have Umar.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I am currently a DCPS teacher, and I'm just like Lisa, just happily to have wrapped up the first semester of the EDD program, and I'm still figuring it out. I'm still figuring out what might be my topic. Very much interested in culturally relevant pedagogy and practices, and I look forward to our exchange.
Awesome. So that's our panel. As you can see, we have representation from pretty much each of the cohorts that we have kind of in who are currently going through the program right now at different stages. We have somebody who's about to graduate. We have and so they're in the thick of working on their dissertation. We have somebody who's like right at the halfway point. So they've just kind of figured out what their problem of practice is. They're building their dissertation committee so that they can begin the process of working on the dissertation. And then we have some folks who literally just started. They were where you are a year ago. In fact, I think when I was asking Umar could join, Umar said, yes, absolutely, because it was things like this very panel that really helped him, kind of get excited about being a part of this program. So we're excited to, I'm excited to have all you here, scholars. And we're going to go ahead and hop in with our very first question. So what was it that brought you to the EDD program here at AU? And you can all actually for this one, we'll have all you guys answer that. And then for the rest of them, whenever you guys want to hop in, we'll go from there. But yeah, so what brought you to the EDD program?
Okay. So Cohort 7, Lisa, I really think that the master's program is what brought me to the doctoral program. I know the term double eagle. I participated in the Master's of Education Policy program at American University. I finished it in May, and now I'm in the doctoral program. I really appreciated the support. I really appreciated the authentic care that I received from my professors when I talked about my concerns about, oh, I heard this is the class that, kind of sifts people out. And my professor was just shocked. She was like, no, I am here to support you. And so I really do appreciate that.
Since we're in the same class, I guess I'll go. For me, it was a range of things. What I did not mention in my introduction is I'm part of the redesign team of my high school. And prior to applying to the program, it's like everything around me was just pushing me towards leadership roles within the school, and then probably in the near future within the district. So I just needed something that would give me a systemic view of the field that I spent so many years in. So that's first and foremost, just to get a just more deeper understanding of the education system as a whole. And my superintendent actually spoke really highly of this program. I remember I had several conversations with her. And at the time she was taking classes, about to enter her last year, and she just kept, you gotta do it, Umar, you gotta do it. This is just a program with a very practical application that's just gonna benefit your practice. And last but not least, I just really like the setup of the program. We're looking at 3 years with classes that are compatible with our schedules, virtual, with a very much anti-racist lens that was in parallel with so many things that I believed in.
I think Omar said that extremely well. For me, the remote aspect was key because I actually started my program, the first year of the program, while I was abroad. So I was zooming into my class from halfway across the world, which is a pretty extraordinary thing to be able to do. And then I absolutely agree that the anti-racist approach, and then also that everyone in my cohort is working and studying at the same time. It's not a PhD that's really theoretical, but it's rooted in practice. And then everyone is coming in to the Zoom space from California, from DC, from other countries, and they're bringing what's happening in their daily lives into that space. So I really love that it's just deeply rooted in practice and making practical changes in our own contexts.
So what drew me to the program was the focus on, they have an anti-racist lens, and also there's a focus on early literacy initiatives. And at the time I was really interested in doing more as far as with structured literacy. But I stayed, so obviously it worked out all right. But I continue to enjoy the program because I have great relationships with my cohort members. You wouldn't believe how you can develop friendships over Zoom. And also, I absolutely love most, if not all, of my professors. And like when we were at residency the other couple months ago, I literally expressed to them, I love you. Like, they're wonderful people. I've had some pretty sticky situations. Like, we started our cohort in the pandemic, like full out. And they have been so supportive through like crazy ups and downs, job changes, life changes. Like, we had somebody who had a baby in our cohort, and it's just a testament to like the wonderfulness of our professors and how they treat us as people.
Awesome. It was great to hear all that. I was a little disappointed to hear that it wasn't my amazing virtual open houses that brought you all to the program, but that's okay.
Yes, of course,
I'm
Anselm, you did
kidding.
an amazing job. We just want to throw flowers at you. You go right ahead.
Thank you. I need no, seriously.
It's coming, man. Don't worry. It's coming. There's
Now
a question.
I was just joking. Clearly, there's a lot more to that draws people to the program and keeps them here. As we will hear a little bit more as we go through here. So I want to switch to the applications. I know a lot of the people that we have here, are either in the process of their application, maybe, our visitors here today, you are going back and forth on whether or not you should start your application, given that our deadline is coming up in 4 weeks here. But I wanted to just kind of ask of you all here, how did you approach your application and your interview? And what is one piece of advice that you have for the applicants in, putting together their application? And we'll take a few, one or two responses on this one.
You're doing the right thing by attending this workshop, because I didn't miss one single workshop that Anselm held. He really did a good job of just outlining like what is it the program was looking for, and then from there, of course, you examine your own positionality, what you want, and then you align it. I really appreciated the sample statement of purpose that you shared. I'm not sure if you've done that, if you're at that stage yet. That was really, really helpful in helping me craft my statement of purpose as well. And yeah, so just by attending this, you're doing the right thing for sure, 100%.
I want to defer to the others, and then I'll go if we have time.
I'll speak to the writing sample. I know that when I was getting ready for it, I kind of just pulled up other examples of research papers and tried to replicate some of the structures of that. So I had an overview, I had a bit of historical background about my topic. I talked about what's the problem that I'm looking at, and then I reimagined that problem. Like, what were some of the solutions, or how could I envision a world that was a little bit different than that? I think it's up to interpretation whether or not you bring in some of your own personal anecdotes. I know that within our program, we use stories and our own stories, and that can be really powerful, but do also show that you can take research and put it and weave it into your story. Do show that you can synthesize and use different authors to support what you're talking about.
Now that's important. That's important there. So Christy, are you saying that you wrote a writing sample for your application? So you didn't pull one that you already had, you wrote one?
Yeah, I wrote one.
Gotcha. Awesome. And I know that because I used hers as an example in a workshop that Umar referenced. We had it a few weeks ago, or like back in, it was like mid-November, where we did like a little workshop where I went through and looked at examples from different applications. And so you can't, so it's an important point there. As part of your writing sample, you can draw on something that you've already written if you feel like you don't, because I know that we have people who are starting their doctoral journey directly after having finished a master's program, and some who their last academic experience was like 20 years ago. And so, it might not be as easy to access some of those things. So you can write new things for that. Just throwing that out there. I know, Lisa, you said you had a thought here, and so you can go ahead and share that, and then we'll move on to the next question.
Yes, I'm preacher's daughter, so I like to keep things as quick as I can. But PPP, person, problem, and the people who you want to connect with. So remember that you're a person. There are people who are actually reading your statement of purpose. They're reading over your materials. And of course, you want to make sure that you don't just come across as I'm an academic, but you're also a person who genuinely wants to be a part of this program. You might be applying to multiple programs, and that is totally fine because you don't know what you're going to be accepted to. However, we need to get to to know who you are. And of course, we shared that our professors are amazing. When I say they're amazing, they are also meticulous. So just making sure that you are sharing like some key information regarding your problem. Think about the things that you are interested in, things that you think you'll be able to talk about for 3 years, possibly even more. Of course, the whole point of the program is to help you, possibly publish something, become a professor, become an expertise at your craft. I would heavily suggest thinking about what you're interested in. And finally, the people you want to connect with, possibly as a, as a problem solver, as a team member, something of that nature, making sure that you put people at the center of whatever you're doing. Because if you make it about the problem, you'll get lost in the sauce. That's happened to me before. Don't get lost in the sauce. Remember why you're doing it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all. So someone dropped this question in the chat. It's actually on my list of questions. So we'll go ahead and jump to that next question here. And sorry, let me pull up my list real quick. Awesome. So what is your approach to balancing work, life, and school?
Okay, I switched jobs. I think I got 2 different jobs within the program. So I've had 3 jobs since I've started, 3 different jobs. I don't know how I did it, honestly. Fortunately, the classes are 7:30 to 9:30 at night, which is well after the workday. When I was a teacher in the classroom, I would honestly use my planning to read. And I would read like for the day of. I also had a buddy who would help me out. She would read something, I would read something, we'd send each other notes because you can't read everything. It's a lot. And then weekends are just like times that I hunker down and do as much writing as possible. Yes, oh yes, Eastern time. That was when I was in the classes. Now I'm in dissertation phase. And since we don't have classes in the evenings, I am in a writing group on Wednesday nights. I meet up with people physically at AU on Saturdays or Sundays or both. And I just do my best. The position I'm in now, frankly, I can't get a lot of stuff done during the day. So I'm really purposeful about my evening time. But I mean, I still go out on Friday nights, like I still make time for fun because honestly, you'll go nuts. But it's just, I've had to be very purposeful about my time. And I've had to make sacrifices for this program. But it is very doable. And I'm going to say it's going to be worth it in the end because I'm almost there, but I'm pretty sure, like 98.7% sure that it's worth it at the end.
And just for a little context, Jasmine's in probably like the most rigorous part of the program where she's writing her dissertation. And Lisa, Umar, and I are in the phase where we're taking a lot of classes. So we have a lot of coursework, but we're not yet writing that dissertation. So Jasmine, you're gonna make it. It's gonna happen. Yeah, I would agree. So I'm in the 2nd year of the program. And I think totally agree with Jasmine. I've switched jobs, I've switched countries. We've had people in our program who have babies or they have children at home, they've got pets, people have passed away, all kinds of life changes. You make sure that you have a really good support system behind you so that you can weather the ups and the downs through the process because life happens. I'm really grateful for my dissertation chair. So basically in the 2nd year, you get to build a committee of AU faculty who support you through the writing process. And they're really good at reimagining things with you. So if you switch your job and you have to switch your context or you have to switch parts of the research, they're going to reimagine with you. So just really lean on other people. Make sure you've got a tight support system. And then just be real with yourself about like what you can do related to finances and tuition, what you can do with the practical stuff to make sure that this is something that you can stick with for 3 years. But it is worth it. I'll say that with Jasmine as well.
Umar, did you want to share? I'll go after you. Okay. I had a really tough transition. My goals were not important to a lot of people in my life. That just helped me understand something about myself. So the question that I put up in my mind is, what sacrifices are you willing to make, and who's making sacrifices for you? And so like keeping that in mind, you're in this program not because you're trying to be selfish, but because you have a question you're trying to answer so that you can help the community. There is research that is in your mind that you want to get out on paper, and it might very well help the well-being of your family. It might help the well-being of, just yourself. And so kind of keeping that in mind. With that being said, life and people is definitely seasons. You've got people who are going to stay in your life like roots, and then you've got people going to fall off like leaves. And so you really have to make sure that you are grounded in your purpose when you're in this program. I've seen some people go through breakups and divorces. I've seen people, have, they've got babies or they've had deaths. I had a lot of deaths in my family prior to getting into the master's program. It's one of the, the impetus of me getting into the master's program. I had to say, you know what, I am living the legacy. They don't get to be here to see me graduate, but at least I can, write them into my like dedication. And that is going to be a beautiful thing when I finally write my dissertation. And of course, go to therapy. Go to therapy, protect your peace, make sure that you take some peace walks, find your favorite, create a playlist. We have Dr. Batista, she created a playlist for our classes, so we have it during the break time. So I really appreciate that. Remember your why, and of course, remember that you're going to be in a cohort. I'm a Gates Scholar, and so what that means is my funding was tied to being in a doctoral program outside of a cohort. I said, no, I need people. And so I am actually taking an independent class so that I can continue to have a cohort model with me. And so keeping in mind, you've got a group of people like Umar, I'm going to be in the program. We're going to walk across the stage, right? I get to see him grow. He gets to see me grow. And that really means a lot. So make sure that you are building relationships with people, whether it is the Wednesday nights. I know Jasmine mentioned that we have, Wednesday night readings. Sometimes it's a whiskey wine down. You just need some time to vent and then also do your readings. So that's what I have.
Awesome. Umar, if you'd like to answer this question, you can. We have time for it. Are you good? Oh.
I'll just jump in one.
It was beautifully said. Nothing much to say, except
you have kids. You got to talk about the kids. People who have kids in the program. You got to talk about this. How do you do this?
Yes. No, I think Christy. Hi, am I saying your name right, Christy? Yeah. Christy said it beautifully, man. Like you just have to lean on your tribe, and you said it well too, Lisa, like just, be rooted, be rooted in your purpose, and then everything will be all right. I also, I don't know if this is an advice or if it's just something that happened on my end, but I started seeing alignment in my systems thinking class, in my anti-racist leadership class, was my practice. So that was beautiful. Like some of the papers I was working on, I was actually applying in my practice, in my redesign work, in my redesign proposal. So it is a beautiful cycle happening at the moment on my end. So that helped balance some things off where I was not, coming out of class or coming out of work doing something brand new. More so I was coming out of class, testing what I learned in class at work, going back to class, and then applying what I found out at work into class, if you see what I'm trying to say.
Umar, it looks like Sesamita and in the chat, she has a young family. How do you find the space for your Zooms? How do you find the space for your reading and your writing?
I want to make sure I understand the question. How do I find time to basically be an awesome dad, awesome husband, and a decent student? Is that the question, more or less?
Okay. I think so, yeah.
Yes.
It's hard, Sasmita. It's not easy. It's very hard. I think what this program is teaching a lot of us, and Lisa, you can confirm, is that sometimes like perfectionism is the enemy of completion sometimes, you know, and understanding that this is not about getting a 4.0 or 3.8 GPA. Nobody is going to care about what's your grade point average when you're done with your doctoral. People would be curious about what you produce as far as knowledge and how applicable and useful it is. So with that said, I think just opening up to your professors and being upfront. If you need extra time on an assignment, just let them know, you know, like, hey, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. And I absolutely appreciate this about our program. As much as they are demanding, as much as they are pushing us, um, the professors are extremely reasonable because they're not looking at you from a lens of you're trying to get away with something. Like, if you're in the program, they already vetted you. They're expecting you to produce, to move the field, you know. One question that stood out to me, I don't know if you remember this, Anselm, in my interview, and I don't know if we'll talk about the interview process because that's very interesting as well. One of the questions I asked was, now, you know, we in an area with a lot of EDDs, like what makes AU special? And I will never forget Dr. Dakir was like, it's the students that make it special. So this is an institution that value your practice and will do everything to empower you to be effective in your practice. So with that said, the professors, they will support you to get to the finish line.
I just want to, for like the young mothers, I'm not a mom. I can't do that. That's not for me right now. But I've seen my cohort members pass off their children as they start the Zoom. I've seen people say, okay, you got to move because they knew class is starting. So getting your family ready for that regimen. I don't know if you have a family calendar, maybe it's on the refrigerator or somewhere special in your room, but please make sure people know this is protected time. In addition, so is your reading time. So they may, you can say, I'm going to be on a Zoom. You're not on a Zoom. You just on the computer trying to make sure you study. So remember, you need to block off, what did they say? Like when I was in the master's program, they said you needed to study like at least 10 hours a week or something. It depends on how fast you read, right? It's also depends on how well you comprehend. So just making sure that you make time for yourself.
Yeah, these are all wonderful responses. I really appreciate you all sharing this. You know, and I'll add here again, like as you have heard from all of our panelists today, like life happens and will happen to you all in this program. We've had people who've gone through immense challenges, have had really, you know, great successes. And those are the ones you often hear the most about. But we have people go through some immense challenges, you know, whether it's, you know, losing a job or a loved one or sickness and illness. Like, and I think something that's really, you know, as an anti-racist program, we strive to humanize people first, you know, first and foremost. So something I feel like everybody, you know, echoed here is that, you know, from a programmatic standpoint, the faculty members, staff, everyone like that, we see, you know, our scholar practitioners as humans, and it's just a matter of like having a conversation about like, I'm gonna need some time with this, or this is what I'm going through, you know, because yeah, like I said, we're all we all have and are going through some really difficult times, you know, as a people, and I think there's a whole lot of space for humanization in that. All right, so I'm going to move on to asking, so I have a few different questions that are kind of tease out the different, what the feeling is like in the program at different stages, you know, within the program here. So I'm going to start with, let's see how much time we have. Okay, cool. So we'll probably take about 10, 15 minutes with this section here. And then we'll go into answering some of the questions that you all have brought here today. So the first question I have is, I will go with I'll start with Lisa and Umar. I know you're but we'll take it from just entering the program. We'll go through the whole journey here. So, you both have just finished pretty much your first semester. How has your first semester measured up to your expectations? And what are you looking forward to for the rest of your journey?
The first semester intense. The first semester adjustment phase, I will say. You go from, because it's a skill to be a student. It takes time to adjust to the reading, and then the writing, and the type of writing that's required. So as far as meeting my expectations, it exceeded my expectations on my end. I shared earlier, my interaction with the program as far as finding it extremely valuable in my current practice and extremely applicable. I'm literally borrowing elements from my writing into my practice. Like, I just finished conducting a set of empathy interviews with some stakeholders at my school, and that's something that Lisa and I presented in our final anti-racist equity project, or whatever it's called. So, and I really appreciated just the dynamic nature of the instruction. As a seasoned teacher, I really appreciated the pedagogy in both classes. My system thinking class, I'm still in awe with Dr. Cheyenne Batista and Dr. Cohen. The class was just so dope. I've never been in a graduate course feeling like, yo, what I'm learning is just so applicable. Like, this is tangible. Not so sure if the other cohort had this tandem of professors, but I really felt spoiled at times in that class. And then we have a class that's all about, so the first class is a let me know if I'm talking too much, Lisa, because I want to let you say stuff. But this is how dope the structure is, right? The first semester, we take a course on just a bird eye view of systems and just systems thinking and so forth. And then the second course is all about the individual, your positionality, and identifying that as a leader. There's a nice complementarity there that I really appreciated. Lisa, the floor is yours.
Yes, our cohort always appreciates that Senegal accent, so I just let you talk, right? Um, for me, I really appreciated both classes. I really appreciated learning from my cohort, keeping us informed. There were moments where I was like, oh my goodness, I don't think I'm gonna make it, y'all. They were like, no, you have to make it because we got to graduate together and we got to sing again at residency. We had a ball. So just, making sure that you are building relationships while you're in this program is really important. This was the best part of my semester. I'm going to be honest. I did a job transition at the very beginning. I was moving from one school where I'd been there for 4 years. I was named Teacher of the Year, and I shifted to being a founding teacher at a new school. And my mentor was no longer at the school. And this mentor had helped me through the master's program and helped me get into the doctoral program and was going to help me with my primal practices. She wasn't there. And so I had to begin to think about, okay, so I need to start shifting a couple of things. And so it's been a shift in understanding how do I build new relationships, who do I trust, as well as understanding that the work that's in these classes with Dr. Cohen and Batista and Dr. Thomas, and you might have Simmons. I mean, it's really applicable as already stated. So I don't know why somebody's calling me. I usually have my phone on do not disturb.
And the residency piece, I know you mentioned it, was also super beneficial in just allowing us to actually meet in person with cohort members, and we just had a blast. Like, Lisa had, anyways, I won't go into detail, but
Go into
discovered
detail.
she's
I
like
need to know.
a whole singer. She performed
Oh,
for
I didn't know you
us.
was gonna say that part. Okay.
Yeah, it was beautiful, man. So that it really allowed to build that tribe, because it can be hard sometimes virtually. So being able to meet in person, was very, very valuable as well, I think.
Yes, and to grab some wonderful, merchandise from the lovely library, the store.
Yeah, and so to follow up with what Lisa and Umar shared and also demonstrated in their own interaction, we had so it's an online program, but like the one in-person component is a residency that we have each fall. And so we have all of our students come to campus in person, where there's a lot of we do provide a lot of content for them that's tooled to where they are in the program, but there's also a lot of time to just spend time with your cohort clearly outside of the content, singing and having karaoke and all that kind of stuff. So and it really does contribute to that kind of cohort bond right there. So thank you so much to both of you. I'm going to move over here to Christy. So Christy, you are at the halfway point in the program. What is something that has helped you to persevere to this point, and what is something that you think will help you continue to the end?
Thanks. And I know there are a few questions in the chat too, just sharing with that. Yeah, I don't think I have anything majorly new to say. I think really the cohort experience is so important to keep us moving through the program, feeling socially supported. And then, yeah, I think just being really intellectually passionate, showing up and like loving to read things and talk about things and engage in that's important. And then as Lisa spoke to the importance of like doing work for people and not just for theory or like this is really rooted in helping our communities. So keeping that at the center of what we do. Yeah.
Thank you. So this last question here, my last of my prepared questions, I'll ask of Jasmine, and then we'll go to some of the questions that you all have for our panel. So Jasmine, you are about to enter your final semester. Hopefully, no, yes, it's real, but no. How do you feel you've grown? And that could be as a person, as an educator, as an advocate, etc., throughout this doctoral process. And then what aspects of that growth do you attribute to the program?
This feels like I'm a Miss America pageant person. Thank you so much for the question. Yeah, as you can see, my sense of humor has probably developed into a sarcastic level that is beyond belief, and I attribute that solely to the program. But no, I've grown tremendously as a person since starting this program. I think one of the things that I learned is how to advocate for myself. I previously had not been very good at that and like kind of just stood on the sidelines, but in the process of learning to advocate for myself, it gave me like the ability to be stronger for others, especially the students that I teach. And then made me think about like the purposeful work that I want to do. Honestly, my problem of practice, dissertation of practice shifted as a result of some of that growth. I'm not a linguist. I teach people how to read or teach teachers how to teach people to read, and really have like in my heart known that this subject of language variation and making sure that all students are understood and heard and that their culture is affirmed in the classroom was very important to me. And it was wonderful because I had professors who supported that. But I would say that my ability to advocate for myself, to advocate for others, frankly, to become a better educator. Even I'm an adjunct for our master's program. I attribute many of my qualities as a professor because of this program, because I had great models, and because when they say, there's an anti-racist component, I really took that to heart and applied that for my master's students, right? But yeah, so a very up and down experience, because I think that's the nature of like doing this kind of work. But I had overall a really positive experience, like to the point that if Anselm asked me to do like a panel, of course I would do it. Or like somebody asked me to call a prospective student and get on Zoom with them. Absolutely. Like I don't mind, because like I really do love this program, love the people in it. And I'm really grateful I got to be a part of it. Next semester, we'll see what happens, but you know, we're here. I'm gonna walk across the stage, whether it's in May or August, it's gonna happen. So the end. No, I'm just kidding.
No matter what, we're gonna get you across that stage, Jasmine. As I shared with somebody who graduated, who crossed the stage last spring, I said, we will throw you across the stage. We'll make it happen, you know. And we do, and that's not just the people the personnel, that's your fellow cohort members as well. All right, so we have about 15 minutes here to the end of till we call time here. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you all, to our attendees today, and answer some of the questions that you have. I'll start with ones that have been put into the chat. And then once I answer those, if you would like to ask a question, you can feel free to unmute yourself. If you're in a space where you can turn your camera on, feel free to do that. We'd love to see you, you know. Yeah, so we'll go from there. So the first question I'll answer is the easiest one, and that is, when does the program start? And I'll answer that one since it's just fresh off my head. It starts the first day of classes for our newest cohort, which will be cohort 8. Will be class start August 28th, 2023. So that's the first week of classes. However, prior to that, we do have some orientation content that takes place throughout the summer. So we'll have like one orientation session, probably like June or July, where we just bring the whole cohort of newly admitted students together and just share information with you, just kind of help you get prepared for the fall. So yeah, that's how that goes. The second question, I'll turn it over to the panel here, and maybe we'll get, you know, one or two responses here, but like someone asked, what made AU stand out from other programs when you applied?
Yeah, so our program is only 3 years, which has its challenges. We're asked to do a lot in a short amount of time, but a typical PhD program is 5, 6, maybe even 7 years. That's a lot of time to put your life on hold. And this program allows us to keep working and study at the same time. So I think that's really unique. And also the remote model, that sometimes it's challenging to do it all over Zoom, but it gives a lot of flexibility. We don't have to drive to campus, show up, make sure that we have to be there in person. We can put our kids down or do whatever, cook dinner, and then sit down and do class. So I think that's unique. And then I think it's not so much AU, but this particular program, right? There's a lot of things that happen in higher education that are challenging, but this program is trying to reimagine a lot of things. And it's deeply centering anti-racism in a way that a lot of other institutions of higher education don't do. So I think that's something that's really important, and that's drawn me to this program.
And I can echo what Christy shared here, is that I am currently a student of AU at the School of Communications. I'm getting my MFA, Master of Fine Arts in Film. So remember this face, you might see it again behind the camera. But I can agree. Like I love my classes. I love my my classmates and cohort. I love most of my faculty members. But I think the work that I put into in supporting students is oftentimes inspired by the support that I wish I had as a student at AU. And so I do think that's what makes this particular program really, really special as well, and something that we really strive to do here. Okay, so another question, I'll just answer this one really quickly. Someone asked, is January the only deadline to apply? At this time, yes. And I say at this time because, you know, we literally just had a meeting about this yesterday. We will assess in January if we need to or would like to open up our application for or extend our deadline. So my biggest recommendation is to, you know, take the time that we have here in the next 4 weeks or so to really put in the work for your for this application. We're here to support you through that, so feel free to, you know, email me, you know, if you have any questions about that. So yeah, Lisa raised her hand, so
It's a habit. We do it in class. Just a few tips for that January deadline. Like, I know I almost missed it. Luckily, people really wanted me to be in this program. Like, Lisa, did you already apply? Then somebody from the admissions, you haven't turned in your application yet. We have everything except for your essay. What's going on? And so I really do appreciate that, because I had a lot going on in my life. Not only was I in the master's program and working full time, but I had like a lot going on personally. And so I really did appreciate that. Make sure you go ahead and get your transcripts, your official transcripts. Make sure that you go ahead and get your letters of recommendation. Oftentimes those can be like the things that keep you away. But for me, it was my essay, just trying to make sure that I knew what I was going to say, but I just hadn't had enough time to write with a clear mind. And so go ahead and design your outline, have someone that you trust review your essay, edit. It's due at the end of January. It's December. So if you've got some time over the holiday break, if you do have a holiday break, please do it. I think this would be a great opportunity to start designing that, you know, like this is the doctoral program, so it would be the Tuesday, Thursday. So Tuesday and Thursday moving forward, set that time aside so that you know, okay, I need to sit down and get this work done. And then by April, weirdly enough, the letters came for us on April 1st. And I was like, is this a joke? Is this a treat? What's happening? And so luckily I got in and, you know, continued from there. So just, you know, you got this, create the plan, follow through.
absolutely. And our deadline this year is actually early January, so January 9th. It was end of January last year, but we did that just to help with our schedule. We have a lot of scholar practitioners who are defending their dissertations in the month of March and April, February and March. So we wanted to get the application stuff done a little bit earlier than that. I'll answer this next question that I have here in the chat, and then I will just real quickly, and it's about financial aid, and it's just all to say that financial aid it's pretty simple. And if you have any direct questions about financial aid, I'll actually put the email address for the department here, and you can ask them more about, oh, sorry, I directly messaged that, my bad. Okay, cool. Awesome. You can ask them any questions that you have about that, but it's pretty straightforward. You fill out your FAFSA, and you're pretty much, unless there's a severe issue or an extreme case, you're pretty much guaranteed to get the full award that they allow each semester, which is, I think, $10,250 for each semester in subsidized loans. So the only thing is, if you reach your limit, which is the U.S. Department of Ed has a limit for all borrowing, which is I think $138,500. That's something to be aware of. I know that, you know, if you're applying for a doctoral program, you have other, you know, you've done other academic programs and may have had to take out loans. So that's something to be aware of. Okay, so this next question here, do you have any advice on writing the statement of purpose? How specific do we have to be with our intended research topic? And is it okay to change that research topic during the program? This is a great question for our panel, so I'll turn it over to anyone who'd like to answer that.
Yes, yes, it will change. It will change 100 times. It has changed for all of us. So don't worry about it. Write about what you're passionate about, what you care about.
And get evidence to support what you're saying. People will always want that. Make sure that you are familiar with APA format. When I say familiar, bookmark the page. Make sure that you understand how to cite your sources. know how to do in-text citation. No, our professor really had to break it down like that because, of course, maybe you might be coming from Chicago style or MLA, but APA is what we're doing over here, and you've got to make sure that you know how to do that. I appreciate how Canvas is set up where you're able to see the description of anything along with the rubric. That's not what you're going to see with the statement of purpose. And so kind of think about the fact that you got to have your grammar, right? You've got to have your content, but also making sure it's an APA format. And of course, you don't want it to be boring. Make it interesting. Make it interesting. Make it interesting to you. If it is boring while you're reading it, if it's boring while you're writing it, it's going to be boring while people are reading it. So just remember that too.
That's great advice. And I also want to ask if you can type the PPP tip that you gave earlier in there, because I think that's great. I think it was person, problem, people, something like that. How'd it go?
Okay, so I wrote it down too. So, tell us about the person, tell us who you are. We need to get to know you, not just as an academic, but as a person in the world. Think about your problem and how it associates with the community and the people you want to connect with. So it's not necessarily you're trying to solve a problem on behalf of the community, but you are the person who gets to be in this program for your community.
Yeah. And I think that's a great thing to kind of take along with you as you're responding to the prompt of the statement of purpose, which you'll see in the application. So yeah, we have a few more minutes here. Are there any other questions that we have for our panel while you have this amazing resource here?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for all the advice you've given so far. It's been very helpful. I had a question about that process of just getting into the nitty-gritty a little bit more of honing into the practice, the practice of problem of practice, sorry, and how that journey takes place with the help of professors, with your own thinking. How do you, with revising it, can you give me a little bit more about that journey?
Is Jasmine?
I think Jasmine would be perfect.
I was going to suggest, Jasmine, I was going to suggest that maybe you can answer this one. I think you could share a little bit about this, since you shared that your problem of practice changed even after you started it.
Sure. Hi, David. Thanks for your question. I think Jasmine's a little further along, so I was looking for her. The problem of practice always changes. I think there are some individuals who come in and have a really clear sense of, I want to study Black fathers, I want to study principles or Black leadership, etc. And then usually that will stay and evolve slightly. In my case, I came in having a general area of international ed, but every new thing that I've read, every new course that I've taken has evolved it and changed it. And so I think it's being really open to those changes. And it's also, your dissertation is a narrative. So it's saying David is into this and this and this, and these are all the parts and all the things that you do. And what's the intersection? Where do those things come together to create a story, to create that narrative? And along the way, you learn about research methods, interventions. Intervention is the thing that you do to try and change your problem. But I think it really is just a process of learning, and it's going to change. Feel free to ask follow-up questions if I was unclear about anything.
And I think, oh, sorry.
Okay, fine. So my research has grown over time. I was a Mellon Mays undergraduate fellow at Smith College. And so they had us, kind of thinking about what is going to be your research question when you go to graduate school. This was the first time anybody had ever talked to me about graduate school or being in a doctoral program. Prior to that, I went to a high school that was on a failing list. It was actually by Johns Hopkins. They listed it as a dropout factory. And so being in this fellowship taught me about understanding, hey, people were not expecting you to be be at Smith. People were expecting you to be somewhere else. And so my question was, how does residential segregation affect educational inequalities in the state of Alabama? That was when I was an undergrad. Now, as I understand, as a teacher, as a leader, as now a person with a master's in education policy and leadership, there is not only, why does this exist, but how can we change it? And so I am currently looking at a possible intervention of field trips, specifically dealing with place-based education using David Grunwald's theory of place-based education. If you have an opportunity, definitely do this. Anybody, hello, you listening? If you're a teacher, you can be a teacher, ranger teacher with the National Park Service. This credit can be added to the master's program, and I know this is not that, but it can be attached to the master's program. You'll get a $3,000 stipend, and it is an amazing opportunity to learn about what is going on in your respective area. I was the founding or the inaugural teacher ranger teacher for the Birmingham Civil Rights National Monument, and so I was able to write the walking tours for the 16th Street Baptist Church, St. Paul United Methodist Church, Kelly Ingram Park, A.G. Gaston Motel, the Masonic Temple Building, and the historic Bethel Baptist Church. All of that I am now encompassing in how can I make sure that we're using this for professional developments prior to teachers taking students on field trips. Let's take the teachers on a field trip because maybe they didn't get a chance to learn this when they were children. I've literally had students in my class, y'all, I'm in Alabama. If you listening to me, I have had students in my class say that their teachers told them to write letters as if they were good slave owners. We have a problem. And so when I say we have a problem, I can't go into that classroom and tell that teacher, no, you can't do this. No, I'm going to write the professional development so that they know they need to change their practices. And hopefully people will buy that and I will become a philanthropist and support American University.
And David, to go back to some of the questions you raised regarding just support system as far as, what structure is in place to help you flesh out. I'm in the first semester and I had the same questions. And funny enough, I was meeting with my superintendent informally on Monday. We were all of us together in a workshop. And I asked her, like, I survived the first semester. How do you make time to actually engage in this research? But this is what I can tell you so far. Everybody is assigned an advisor. You could say this is a standard practice, but I have literally recurring every 2 weeks meeting with my advisor. Every 2 weeks, we are discussing and brainstorming like potential topics and so forth. The second thing that has happened for us this semester, we already fleshed out our first lit review this semester, right, Lisa? So that is already kind of like setting us in the mindset of exploring topics of discussion. And another step that I think Christy can confirm and Jasmine can confirm, there is a class where we're gonna, I think, go through several iterations of our problems of practice with Dr. DeCure. Am I right with this? And that's what my superintendent was highlighting. And she thought that class was super duper helpful because they literally make you go through several rounds of edits and they help you like just think through your problems of practice through different lenses. And that's how she emerged with something that ended up being completely different from what she thought she was going to work on. So I hope that helps, David.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, so real quick, what I'll do is because it's at 8:02 and I'm happy to stay on a few minutes after. If anyone in our panel is happy to stay on a few minutes after, then to answer a few more questions, then we can do that here. But I will just officially conclude this event here before we unofficially continue, and say thank you so much for spending this past hour with us. Hopefully what you've heard and what you learned from our scholar practitioners here is that, you can do this, and you have within you the ability to do this, and you have within the tribe around you that we work really hard and intentionally to build amongst our cohort you have within them as well the support that you need to get through this. This is a journey that will demand a lot of you, will take a lot of time, but it will also pour a whole lot into you. I really do hope if we've done our job well, but also with the support of those you have around you. So I'm going to put my email in the chat here as well. Lisa already put hers here. If any of our other scholar practitioners would like to, no pressure, but if you'd like to, you can put that in there as well. And feel free to reach out. And yeah, thanks again. And hopefully we'll see you in your applications in the next month or so. So have a great evening. And like I said, we'll stay on for a little bit longer here to answer any other questions that we have. So thank you. So Jasmine, if you wanted to finish your thought, you can go ahead.
I apologize, doing adult stuff over here. What I was going to say is I changed my problem of practice several times and in fact was like very undecided until this semester. And I want to normalize, if you have a chair that it's just not working out with, you absolutely can change chairs. And all of the the two chairs were really understanding and it made sense. But it changed a couple of times. I think that there's more in place now for the current cohorts to make sure that, like, I don't know, to kind of, I could have done with some of the supports that the cohorts have. So I don't think this situation that I'm in will happen to anybody in the future, but it is now nice to see how they're developing pieces of their dissertation or practice that will actually keep them from being highly stressed where I am now. But know that if you change your mind about your problem of practice, it's okay, you'll finish. If you need to change your chair, you absolutely can. Really is, I think if you're moving in a way that is advocating for others, that is really like, I don't know, if your work is grounded in the right things, people will 100% support you with whatever changes you need to make.
Yeah, I think Umar spoke to this when he was talking about grades, but there's a lot about our education systems that are not built for learning. And so this program is sort of re-envisioning that. And so if you're doing things and you need it to shift because you're human, then we redesign the system. Like, we can feel empowered to do that and to ask for the things that we need.
I can attest to someone who's been here from the beginning that a lot of changes to our program have been made each year as we continue to work with our students to co-construct what this program is and can be. So, and Jasmine even shared a little bit too, that based on feedback that we've received, we've made changes and made shifts, and that's really what we're trying to do here. So, yeah. Any other last minute questions? Well, you have us here for a few more minutes. We'll wrap everything up by 8:15 for sure.
Joanna wrote in the chat, how specific should we be about our area of research on the statement of purpose?
Yeah, I'll answer that real quickly and just say that the little not mnemonic, but the rule that I quote unquote that I came up with in explaining this, we'll see how helpful it is. It's like the 5-minute rule. And so whatever you can talk about, whatever you write that can sustain a conversation for 5 minutes about your problem practice, then that's how you can put it in there. So it doesn't have to be so specific that you're having to explain all these different terminologies and all these different theories to get someone to kind of understand what you're talking about. It also shouldn't be so broad as to that, you can tie in all these different threads to discuss the issue. So it's I want to talk about racism, that's too broad. That's for that example. But if it's something that can inspire a 5-minute conversation around what your problem practice, what you're intending your problem practice to be, I think is a great kind of rule of thumb that I have been told has been helpful for people. Because if you do, and I say that because if you do wind up moving on to the interview round, that's what you will have to do. There'll be a question about what your intended problem practice is, and you'll need to sustain a conversation for about 3 to 5 minutes about that. So So yeah, hopefully that's a nice, it doesn't have to be like extremely specific, but it should be something that gives us an idea of like your work and your experience, because it's a problem that's tied to your work as a practitioner. And so yeah, hopefully that helps. Would we be able to get a hold of an example statement of purpose? Sure, yeah, I can do that for you. If you email me, I'll drop my email in chat again. But if you email me, I can send you one, because that is something I have provided in our application workshop. Any other questions? Once, going twice. Awesome. Well, thanks again, everybody. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening, wonderful holidays if we do not connect before then. And again, you have our contact info if you will have any questions. Thank you and have a great night.